Have you ever stepped into an elevator, looked at yourself in the mirror, and thought, why is this even here? It seems like such a random feature, right? Well, it turns out those mirrors aren't just for checking if you have spinach in your teeth. There's a fascinating story and some clever psychology behind them. And today, we're going to dive deep into the hidden science of elevator mirrors. It all started back in the post-World War II era. Skyscrapers were shooting up everywhere, and elevators were becoming a daily necessity. But there was a problem. The elevators were slow. People would get antsy, impatient, and complain constantly. They'd press the button over and over, sigh dramatically, and just generally feel stressed. Building managers were getting an earful. Their initial thought was, okay, we need faster elevators. But upgrading the mechanics was incredibly expensive and complex. So they had to think outside the box, or in this case, inside the box. An engineer, whose name is unfortunately lost to history, had a stroke of genius. He realized the problem wasn't just about speed. It was about the perception of speed. People were bored. They had nothing to do but stare at the walls and think about how slowly they were moving. His solution? Give them something to do. Give them a distraction. And what's one of the most captivating things we can look at? Ourselves. So they installed mirrors. And just like that, the complaints dropped dramatically. It was a massive success. People were so busy fixing their hair, adjusting their tie, or just subtly checking out the other people in the elevator through the reflection, that they completely forgot to be impatient. The perceived wait time plummeted, even though the actual travel time hadn't changed by a single second. This is a classic example of what's called an occupied time strategy. Our brains are funny. When we're occupied, time seems to fly by. When we're bored, every second feels like an eternity. The mirror was the perfect low-cost solution to a very expensive-seeming problem. But the psychology goes even deeper than just distraction. Let's talk about claustrophobia. For many people, a small enclosed box is a major source of anxiety. An elevator is the very definition of that. Mirrors work wonders here. They create an illusion of space. By reflecting the interior of the elevator, they make the cabin feel larger and more open than it actually is. Your brain sees the reflection and interprets it as an extension of the space, which can significantly reduce feelings of being trapped or confined. It's a simple visual trick, but it has a powerful calming effect on our subconscious. Suddenly, the metal box doesn't feel quite so constricting. And there's another safety-related aspect. From a security perspective, mirrors are a brilliant addition. In a small, enclosed space with strangers, a mirror gives you a 360-degree view without you having to overtly turn your head. You can keep an eye on what's happening behind you discreetly. This subtle increase in situational awareness makes people feel safer and more secure. It discourages potential pickpockets or anyone with bad intentions because they know they're more likely to be seen. It's a silent guardian providing a sense of control and security in a potentially vulnerable situation. It makes the shared space feel a little less anonymous and a little more public. Now, let's get into the really cool brain science of it all. When you look in a mirror, you're not just seeing a reflection. Your brain is engaging in a complex process of self-recognition. This activates a specific network in our brain, sometimes called the self-awareness network. It involves parts of the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for higher-level thinking. When we recognize ourselves, it triggers a mini moment of introspection. Is my hair okay? Do I look tired? This internal monologue is a form of cognitive engagement. It pulls your focus inward, away from the external environment like the slow-moving elevator walls. This self-focus also has a social component. We are inherently social creatures, and we care about how others perceive us. The mirror gives us a last-minute opportunity to manage our appearance before we step out into the office, a meeting, or a social gathering. It's a moment to present our best selves to the world. This act of self-monitoring can actually be a little boost to our confidence. It's like a final check-in before going on stage. Think about it this way. The elevator journey is a transitional space. You're moving from one environment to another, from the public lobby to your private office, or from your apartment to the outside world. This transition can be a little mentally jarring. The mirror provides a point of focus, a moment of grounding. It's a brief pause to recenter yourself before you switch contexts. You're not just moving vertically through a building. You're preparing for the next scene in your day. Now, let's consider another angle: accessibility and inclusivity. For individuals who use wheelchairs, mirrors and elevators are not just a psychological trick. They are a crucial safety feature. When a wheelchair user enters an elevator, they often have to go in forward and come out backward. Without a mirror, backing out blindly is incredibly dangerous. They could run into someone or something. The mirror allows them to see what's behind them, making it possible to exit the elevator safely and independently. This design element, originally intended for a different purpose, has become an essential part of making public spaces accessible for everyone. What started as a clever solution to combat impatience has evolved into a multi-layered design feature that tackles several human needs at once. It's really a masterclass in human-centered design. Instead of just focusing on the mechanics, the engineers and designers focused on the human experience. The next time you find yourself in an elevator, take a moment to appreciate that mirror. It's not just there for vanity. You're not just looking at a reflection. You're looking at decades of clever problem-solving staring right back at you. If you found this as fascinating as I did, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations into the hidden science of everyday things. Let me know in the comments if you've ever thought about why elevator mirrors are there or if this changes how you'll see them from now on. See you in the next video.